What's up, family? This is the Playmaker Podcast, episode 37. I'm your host, Reggie Coleman.
I'm your co-host, Nikita Monroe Thomas.
And today we got a special guest, Mr. Johhny, Quest the Rebel. So Johhny, let us know a little about yourself, background, where you from, where you live now, all that good stuff.
All right, bet, man. I'm a Trenton, New Jersey native. Now currently out in Los Angeles. Been out there for like about 5 years now. Yeah, man. And we been doing this music thing, going hard at it for about like 5 years. And yeah, we moved out there to really kind of get everything rolling. You know what I mean? Dang, man, I'm here with the Trenton's own Breakfast Club. Nah, for real, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all been doing y'all thing, and it's like that's what I definitely love about the social media and all that. I get to watch it from afar and like really see y'all build, and then and see the consistencies with what we try to do with everything with our label. Y'all building y'all story, how y'all connected, and you know what I mean, started from here and put it together. So I appreciate y'all having me out here today, for real.
Oh yeah, we thank you. You support from afar, like you said, and we see that. I see it especially because I actually run the Instagram page, so I see it the most. And I'm just like, I'm glad your brother hit me up and said like, yeah, he in town, let's set something up. And I just appreciate y'all again for coming through, believing in our platform, and also sharing your platform because it's strength in numbers. I like to say, like, iron sharpens iron, and I love to shed light on positive people and positive things that's going on around in the area. Even though you moved, but you still from here.
Right.
So like, I just appreciate and love to shed light on people that's doing something positive, because you know they love to highlight the negative things, and it is a lot that's negative that goes on, but it's people out here that's doing some great things, and that's what we made this platform for.
Correct.
Right.
We named it the Playmaker Podcast because we all playmakers in some different way. So we thank you. So you say you started 5 years ago. What made you move to LA or California?
Man, so I just thought that I think moving to LA, I wanted to see different opportunities. I wanted to be able to like connect and like even right now, you know, I mean, and obviously like New York, you know, is right here, but I mean, I guess for me, it's a whole thing, like lifestyle. Like I do the plant-based diet, you know what I'm saying? And then being able to, you know what I'm saying, be active and work out all year. So like, you know what I mean? And then like with the music, just being around all entertainment, you know what I'm saying? Acting, modeling, music, and just seeing that. And so like, LA is a unique place. So like, yeah, that was my plan, like really to get out there to, one, like to always represent Jersey, but always like be able to like learn what's going on deep in the music and the industry. Cause like, that's the thing I've learned the most is that like a lot of people doing it, but like, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about that. Even y'all beginners, like nobody in my family is in the industry. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody, at all. So like, I just wanted to see it front hand and then try to like figure it out. And then on the journey and on the quest for real, like I've learned so much just being aggressive to it, like, you know what I mean? But that's why I wanted to get out to LA. I wanted to see it front hand. I think like we have, and that's one thing I definitely want to continue to shed light on. It's like Trenton in itself, not only in music, because that's a whole nother level, but the hip hop history that's here is something that we don't talk about all, and that's definitely something that I've learned over the time, just dealing with, you know, OGs telling me some stories about back in the day and all that. But it's like, man, we got a rich history here that, you know what I mean, that we've had artists on MTV and this, that, and the third, but it's like, we didn't even talk about that. And then hopefully, man, seeing a lot what's going on here is that building that community. But I wanted to see it from the outsider perspective and see how, you know what I mean, with the talent, how people putting on shows, building labels, and like, even right now, like I live down the street from Def Jam, Universal, like they right there, like down the street from my crib.
That's a daily motivation then.
Oh yeah. You run into I mean, like you run into celebrities like all the time.
It's like normal.
Dude, I see Shannon Sharp at Whole Foods like all the time. Not for real, like all the time. Like
That's what's up.
So let's talk about your new project real quick. Dream. Is that what it's called? I'm pretty.
Yeah. Dream.
My top 3 songs, just to kick it off. I like Dream. I like Projects to Mansions, and what was the last one?
2020 Vision. Right?
Yes.
That's how we come
So what goes into your process of making an album, making tracks? Like, what goes into your process? Do you write down in a journal, or is it off the top, or both?
Oh, well, no, I definitely, I'm a hip hop traditionalist. I got, you know what I'm saying, I still got the composition book.
No phone?
Nah, I really like to feel the pen in the pad. Like, for real, like, I really like to put the pen on the pad and see it. And then, like, I mean, the phone is cool, but everything gonna look clean. You can cross it out. But I like seeing, you know what I'm saying, the first time I wrote it on this page and then on the next page. Yeah. And I think, for me, even though everything is not fully written, I've already mapped out the process of like 4 albums ahead. You know what I'm saying? Titles, concepts, and what they are, because I'm really just trying to tell my story. So Dream is actually the first of 3 EPs. So that came out in last April, and then we're coming out day after my birthday on January 10th. We're dropping the next one, which is Follow. Okay. So the series is all connected to Fry, FRYD, Follow and Reach Your Dream. So it's kind of in the order of the EPs is out of the lane, but it's like because you dream first. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, everybody talk about manifestations and all that. So like even moving to LA, I moved to LA in 2015. I have Facebook messages with my homies back in like 2010, I think, right when I graduated high school, about moving to LA. You know what I mean? And so Dream is really, and again, the you know, like even like where I want to take the music and everything like that is much bigger than that. So the Dream is first, and then and I love, you know, all those records that you mentioned, because I'm excited for everybody to hear this next project, because Follow is everything that you go through. You know what I'm saying? While you try and get there, you know what I'm saying?
All the trials and tribulations, everything you could imagine.
Man, and then it was crazy. So you're talking about the process. So we just finished wrapping up the Follow, and it was crazy because I think, like, for me, 2012 was one of the craziest years of my life, and even in, you know what I'm saying, trying to go back in that to create this this new project, you know what I'm saying, shit started happening again, you know what I mean, and that's life. But I mean, like, I'm definitely in my entrepreneurial spirit. Bullshit you not, right? Projects to Mansion. So I had a whole plan going out to LA, right? So I went out there. I was like, all right, how the fuck do I? One back, I can't curse.
Just gotta put that explicit.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, how do I get to LA, right? So I just had graduated undergrad 2014, right? I came home, I was grinding. I was working at Amazon.
You definitely was grinding.
Yeah. Oh no, it get deep, right? I was working at Amazon. I picked up. I was studying for my GRE. I was studying for my personal training certification, and I was recording my first solo EP at the solo project at the time, right? So all this is like that one semester off, right? And I'm like, all right, boom. How I get to LA and I ain't got no money, right? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to school, right? Go get my master's. So I have, like, for that one semester, at least I have a place to live. So I went out to, I was applying for schools, doing my recording the project, studying, and you know, and I was actually coaching. I was coaching at Pennington for football that season. So I was like no sleep, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I gotta get to LA. I gotta get this thing off, right? And so I go out to Cal State Fullerton, get my master's in sports psychology, but that gave me time to fill out things out. Yeah. And so, like, you know, I get out there, and then, like, you know, we record, we back to work, and then it kind of like I mapped it out, so I had an opportunity, because I just like I said, I seen something real big possible. You know what I'm saying? I think, and so then, but again, like, I'm out there, You know what I mean? And you really gotta thug it out. I mean, and y'all know LA is expensive. Like,
Yes. For 5 years, I said yes.
oh yeah, people, man, people. Shout out to everybody who did their thing going to Atlanta and LA and wherever, you know what I mean, and staying and cause yeah, I've seen people 3 months, you know what I mean, and then you but what I was saying is so after getting my degree and everything, when I dropped Projects to Mansion, I was still personal training. I actually dropped Projects to Mansion, and it was so funny at what I said at the end of the song, man, F a day job. I got fired from my personal training job the day I released that song.
Well, that was something you didn't mean to manifest.
but see, right. But it was awesome. Yeah.
Or it probably was needed too.
It was definitely needed, man. It put me in a space to really, you know what I mean, like, yo, like, what you really want. And it's crazy, right? My manager at the time, when he first got to the job, or I think I played him like one of my vlogs or whatever. He was like, yo, like, he was dead serious. So he's like, yo, you don't need to be here. Like, I didn't know this really what you do. Like, you know what I mean? Not in a disrespectful way. He's like in awe. He's like, you got talent, and like, you know what I mean, like we kind of holding you back in a sense. So like I said, trying to keep it positive. He was on some, you know what I mean, some other stuff when it went down, but. He definitely that was a blessing. You know what I mean? That let me know, like, that again, like the whole process. Like, you really in your mind create everything that you know what I'm saying. I done seen everything that I've ever wanted. I saw it in my mind first. You know what I mean? So going back to the process, it was like that's what Dream was, and coming in this EP Follow. I started seeing those things again, so I went back into those dark times. But it was actually deep, man. It was a blessing to see, like, I never want to live a regular life, you know what I'm saying? So like I appreciate all the struggles, because I'd rather be doing that than be like, yo, imagine if I was still working at Amazon. That was 2014. I'm 6 years deep now. You know what I'm saying? I would be pissed the fuck off.
Especially when you got visions for your life.
Right.
And then you see, like, a lot of times people don't realize you're these 9 to 5s. If you really got a passion and a dream, put that fire underneath yourself. Because if you could stay there, the job won't keep you. Right. You gotta sometimes separate yourself. You definitely gotta separate yourself. Yeah, that's Because you'll get stuck, and then 6 years later, you would have been miserable, and you would have been like, "Nah, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna figure out my way."
You gotta, like you said. I think, and that's what I love what y'all doing, because it definitely comes from the athletic background. Because you think about it, like as an athlete, right? Growing up, you got, you know what I'm saying. For me, it was football, so you got, you know what I'm saying, flag, Pop Warner, you know what I'm saying. When you go up in weight, and then you got high school, and then the whole time you trying to go get to college and hopefully the league. Then that stopped, you know what I'm saying, and then but my goals don't stop. So when I see people, and again, that's what I love about the music and entertainment, is I can keep evolving. You know what I mean, like, because that's all I've learned my whole life. You just keep evolving, get better on your skills, get better on your craft, get better at this, and then it's like, you know what I mean. Again, everybody got their own what they want to do, but I want to constantly be in growth. You know what I mean? Like, I went to this one joint, and they was talking about your music career, how to have longevity. It's like you got to keep reinventing yourself. So you look at Jay. We got Jay. We got Hov. We got like Carter. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we got Diddy. And it's like every time they reinvent themselves. So you seeing, and it's like, but that's constant growth. That's how you go from being broke to being a billionaire, because you constantly thinking about how you can get better. You know what I mean? I think, like, in some situations, like I said, that's just not for me. It's like being able to do the same thing over and over and over again. It's like I feel like I can never be stagnant. Like,
right, and even with this podcast, we started off we talk about sports. That's all we did. And we thought about it. I'm like, we need to gain more listeners, and how can we do that?
Right,
So by doing that, you get the sports fans, then you get like, now we interviewing people. Mainly it's been artists so far, but we want to interview anybody that got something going on. So their followers will come to us and listen to us, and if they enjoy it, they'll keep coming back even without listening to you, your followers. You get what I'm saying? So like we're continuing to expand and grow, and like you said, growth. It's all about growth, reinventing yourself.
Correct.
We already reinvented ourselves. I started this on my own. It was called Nightly Sports and Culture. I went to little backstory. I went to Newman University. Our mascot was a knight. Nightly Sports and Culture, whatever. So then I'm like, I got Keto on. I'm like, all right, what can we make it? We're both athletes. We're both doing something positive. Playmakers, whatever. Playmaker podcast. And then I got Changing the Game as well. So like, it's just reinventing yourself, growing, and like getting the masses to come to you and relate to you. It's all about relating. If people can relate to you, they gonna like you. And that's what we're trying to do. And also keeping it authentic. You gotta keep it authentic, true to yourself. Because people can tell when you're being fake.
Yeah, they gonna see right through it, and then it's pointless to even go down that path.
Right.
You know it's not gonna be
it's easier to be the real you instead of.
And that's but if you look at anybody that's successful, that's who they are. Like they like, man, like that's a blessing to see somebody really when they come into themselves. Like, from it don't matter who they talk to, it don't matter who they around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just that's them. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I mean y'all really doing it. And I like you said the expansion, because even when y'all put it up, like what's the definition? Like, and that's what I feel like y'all really doing. Like y'all playmaker, y'all have created a platform now, right? Y'all distributing, you know what I'm saying? You John Stockton out here, and y'all giving people the opportunity to express themselves and then show people, like you said, the positive things that are going on in this area, man. And I think like you said, man, because you could go, they only gonna put on the news, you know what I'm saying?
Who got shot?
Right.
Who got robbed?
And it's so much more that people, like you said, people really not seeing it. And y'all know, I guess, like, you know, in this area, even the game in the gym at Trenton High last night, it's like sports in this area, I mean, which we all been a part of, is like, that's such a positive thing for like, I think I could definitely say it saved my life, you know what I'm saying? And not even being like on the dramatic stuff, but just like allowing me to, I don't go to college, right? If it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even have the opportunity to go to college, because you know nobody got the bread for that.
Right.
And y'all know what I talk about all the time: student loan debt. So you know, if you ain't got the money, either you're gonna go into debt or you're gonna figure out other means. And sometimes those other means are not always positive. So definitely, sports helped us all. You know, because I played basketball from the age of like 6 to 23. In that time frame, I had a lot of friends that went elsewhere in their lives, and I'm still here, positive on my journey, because basketball, point blank period. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you gotta find what's your niche, and try to follow that path. Because I'm telling you, I be at work a lot, and I be just daydreaming like this ain't gonna be my end all be all. Like, I'm at this job right now, it's cool, thank you. I'm thankful for the job, but I be daydreaming a lot like, this ain't gonna be it. This ain't it. Not even close.
Because you see yourself much bigger than that. I think that's the thing that, like, I think that's hard for me when I have like conversations with, like, you know, everyday people. It's like, I be seeing them bigger than they see themselves. And then y'all both probably get it. It's like people look at you crazy because you are trying to do something bigger than just be at your job for, you know, 25, 30 years and retire. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like to each his own. But yeah, that's like you said, being your authentic self. I think that's what I love about the era that we live in. And now, don't get me wrong, with the social media, it's a lot of garbage on there.
Yeah.
But I tell my team all the time, it's like, yo, people are making money off of being themselves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the craziest thing to me. I'm like, I look at that like, yo, like, why can't I do that? you know what I mean?
Yeah, times are definitely changing, because you got to remember, when we was young growing up, comedians had to be on like Comic View and stuff.
Right.
Now they got their whole sets on IG. You like, they pretty funny. Now they going on their own tours, their own comedy tours, and people making real money, like you said on here. You just gotta be your authentic self, because I'm telling you, that fake stuff only gonna last for a minute. Like the guy that used to do the pranks and had all the tattoos on his face, now he done came back, was like, oh, I was going through something.
Yeah, even baptized.
Yeah, like, I was going through something. We all knew he was going through something, but nobody, you got too many yes men in people's circles too nowadays.
And
with social media.
I think like that comes with people trying to, and then you know with stuff being able to go viral, it's like that instant success. But I like even like you said, all the stuff we learn in sports, yo, them lessons that will never like. That's the thing about with the social media and stuff, right? I was listening to something, right? All right, let's say you on social media and you telling somebody you the nicest kid in the neighborhood in sports, this, that, and third. Exactly. When you actually show up to the court, we gonna see, like, you know what I'm saying? When we actually when you actually come to the field and you gotta lace up your cleats, like we gonna know. And sometimes in these industries, like people are kind of allowed. They don't have no proving ground to do that. But it's gonna weed itself out, and that's where like exactly like. Let's say somebody like they could dunk or something. They do one dunk. My pops, right? My pops from Georgia. He said when he came up, my pops they moved up to Patterson, like 70s or whatever. And he said my pops couldn't dribble. Even to this day, my pops got a jump shot crazy, like set shot. He ain't jump. He said he went out for the team, right? So let's say think about this now, right? Somebody got this on camera. He said he went out for the team up there, right? He couldn't dribble. But my dad, like, he like 6 foot, he was an athletic dude. Literally sprints down the court, don't dribble one time, just off the rip. Bang. So somebody take a clip of that, and now he done went viral, this and the third. But my pops, he ain't make the team. Right. Cause he ain't had no rest of the game and the coach could, you know what I'm saying, could see that or whatever. And so like now it's like so my point is like keep working on stuff so like it's gonna be a long-term success. And I think that like that's where like when you see the numbers go up and we do got the chance to see analytics and all that stuff, it's like it's a process. I know in 20 I really been doing music forever, but I was like dibbling down because of sports or whatever. But seeing like where I am now, the things that we shout out to Renaissance Music, let's say the label, the team. The things that we know now and we able to do, it's been it's like going from from Little League to AAUs and this and the third is as your competition your competition grows and you get around more people, you get more knowledge. You know what I mean? And it's excellent. But exactly, you can't being your authentic self. That's what's going to take you to create longevity. You know what I mean? The boy Tekashi, like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, you get caught up in something that you're not, and then, like you said, it's not what you are. That's like, you know what I mean?
But I think we all knew that's not we from around. Like, I'm looking, I felt so, I'm like, anybody know this is like a trick? Like, he's, like, the money, you get so hungry on the money and the clout that you just gonna let somebody steal your whole life.
But that's the thing. People like it's like ain't nothing quick worth it. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Too many people want the microwave effect.
All the time. Yeah. 30
Throw
seconds.
that thing in the oven. Let it marinate.
Yeah.
You always say.
Because at the end of the day, you only hurting yourself. So he got 2 years in jail, but it's like a domino effect that all these people he hurt. All these kids without their fathers and all these kids without their mothers and people that were hurt in whatever he got involved in because money and clout. Because at the end of the day, all of us knew what it was. So we can't feel sorry for these individuals. You just got played. And you got
it was only a matter of time before what happened.
Right.
Exactly. And in my humble opinion, I knew the boy was going, if anything happened, I knew he was going to rank. Like, we all knew it. I don't understand how y'all let this man come into a real, quote unquote, organization and be like, I've never seen that in my life. Like, that just gives you one instant of how this game can point you in a different direction that you're not even comfortable with who you are.
I think, and that's crazy too, because like even you talk about the student loans, and like at the end of the day, like we want to work in our field and get paid for it, right?
Yes.
But like,
Ooh.
right, that's definitely the goal.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I know, like, that's what I tell people all the time, like, or that's how I feel myself. Like, when I'm doing something that I love, like, it's different. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely been reading a lot. This is 2019. I've been reading a lot, and like, it's like I've always thought like that. That's how how it feels. Like when you're doing something, it shouldn't feel like work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We working, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
shouldn't feel like, man, I done worked 40 hours.
Right, like you exhausted,
Yeah,
like
it shouldn't be like that.
and so me saying that is just like, obviously you gonna get paid for your service, with your talents, your energy, your time. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, I really like we doing things and creating things. You gotta get paid, but it's like, I'm not doing it for money because I think Diddy or somebody was saying that on something popped up recently. But it's like that quick money, man. Like it's what I mean, and it be going tomorrow, and you ain't. You never learn how to use your bread right.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's behavior. The money not going to change your behavior.
When you're doing something you love and you get paid on top of that, that's a bonus when you get paid for doing something you love. Like,
Correct. That's why the NBA players always smiling, because they're playing a game they love and they're getting millions and millions of dollars.
but that's the example I use. Everybody, like, you have conversations with people like, how the bread coming with the music, this, that, that, third, right? You know how many games somebody played of basketball? How many shots they done took before they ever made $1?
right.
I don't think they think about that.
Nah, like not at all. Like,
You gotta remember, these kids not getting paid in high school and they're not getting paid in college.
So you thousands of shots, thousands of drills, thousands of dribbling the ball. You know what I
running,
mean?
all that.
Even doctors, like anything with people, like you think of the top dollar people. You've been in school for 15 years.
You ain't get paid until you in like your 13th year.
You know what I mean?
Doctorate program, like.
And I think people, like, that's what, like, when people coming from, when they see people doing things entrepreneurially, they don't really understand that. Like, you know what I mean? Yo, you gotta put that work in. You know what I mean? You gotta definitely put that work in. So
people want everything fast. They want it all fast, and then we could all get money today, but that's not gonna change your behavior if you're the type of person that's gonna just spend it.
I see it every day. I see people. I know people that make like decent bread, and they just, like you said, they habits is all. They still broke.
In your mind, you're still the same person. You could get that's why I tell people, like, people be playing a lottery and stuff like that. Cool, I don't knock nobody, because you got to think where the lottery is located at, in the inner city. They're just trying to get our money, but that's another tangent I don't know. But yeah, like, we could all get money today. But if you are the type of person that just blow money on Jordans and Balenciagas and all that, I'ma still have my money.
Right.
I'm being invested my money, and you gonna be broke, and then the domino effect just plays itself. So no.
That's having long term paper, and that's what, like, I want kids with my music and even, like, I think about the stuff I listen to, like, I'm definitely, like, it's underground hip hop really don't exist with social media, because I feel like everybody got their own. It's just like somebody's more popular or pushed by
something,
right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
More views, more streams.
But I think because even but I feel like I like when artists, like you said, being authentic. It's like, I got artists, they tell you they got their chain, but like they was like, I got my chain after X amount of time and in the work that they had to do, and I'm still doing shows where it's like 500 people, whatever, and it's like it's real. That's the I tell everybody that was one thing I wanted to see in LA. Right, LA is crazy to me because you know what I'm saying. You'll see fancy cars driving around all the time, right? So I think about Trenton, and like, all right, so like somebody I see Maseratis, Lambos, and all that stuff all the time, right? And I think it's crazy to me because I don't even, in my mind, like, how far for us, right, growing up, did we have to go in the area to see, like, mansions and this, that, and third?
We had to go pretty far.
Right. And then, like, in LA, right, South Central is, you could catch one bus and you in Beverly Hills. You could, or not even that, right? You have artists celebrities that are from these places, and you'll see them driving through their neighborhood, this, that, and third. You'll see the success, and like to me, it's like we have to go for that. You always got motivation all the way around you. You got motivation just because of the environment that you live in. You should be motivated by that, right? But it's like we have to go exceedingly far for motivation or seeing the reality of something. You know what I'm saying? Seeing somebody with a nice car, seeing somebody with a home. You know what I mean? Like you talk about real equity and things like that. And to me, that's why I want to see. I think it's so interesting because like. You know, I think for me, myself, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to, you know, like I said, I'm a person, I got my life pretty mapped out in my mind. I want to travel a lot and be around, but I want to have a home in Cali. I want to have a home here, you know what I'm saying? But I want to be able to pull up and you get to see that motivation. You're like, oh man.
And it's not a stunt.
Right, it ain't a stunt. I work for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I seen Quest pull up, whoop-de-whoop, and it's an inspiring. You know what I mean? I love, you know what I mean, what's going on now with the sports here because you seeing cats from here that's in the league, that's recent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like shout out to Greg Grant, but that's like when you let's say somebody in middle school now, that's way back. But now we got people that you could see like they playing internationally, they doing their thing in the league, they got opportunities, and it's like, yo, like you could see that. So now it's not like somebody from wherever, it's like it's somebody, you know, from right here. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I could look up to that because that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying for hip hop right now. I love everybody out here doing their thing now. It's like we got Poor Righteous Teachers, you know what I'm saying? They was doing their thing, and what people don't know, there's some real history. The original Ghetto Boys, not Scarface and them, like what the group was created from, is actually from Trenton. You can do your research, you can go on Wikipedia. The original DJs from the Ghetto Boys is from Trenton, even when they was traveling. And that's the part of history that they don't know. But again, you talk to somebody who was born in 2000, they Scarface, are you talking about, what are you talking about?
They don't know the movie.
Right. Yeah. And so they have no idea. And so like that's my thing with entertainment and music. Cause we got Blackstone, we got people from Trenton and entertainment that they don't even talk about it. And that bothers me. But you know, it is, I can't tell nobody what to do. But like I said, that's my thing. Is I wanna be that inspiration. I'm still working on it, and that's, you know, that's my whole thing with the whole Fry, you know what I mean, follow reach your dreams, because it's not, I think with people, it's always a certain type of look you get with somebody. You tell somebody you're a rapper or you're an artist, and it's like, for me, artists was, again, playing sports. Like, they that was motivation. That was like, all right, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm listening to before the game and put me in the mindset to go, you know, go off when I'm, you know, playing football, this, that, and third. And so, like, I listen to a lot of music, but that's like somebody driving, say 9 to 5. Like, yo, you gotta, that's the thing about working, what we was talking about before. Your service at Starbucks gonna be different if somebody love coffee. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, you know what I mean? That's why, like, doing what you love is really important, and finding your lane. It's somebody out here that love to make coffee.
Like, that's their purpose. They found their purpose.
You know what I mean?
That's why they happy every day.
And you might be like, dang, why they so happy at working at Starbucks? But you don't know what their dreams were. They might want to be the manager or own some Starbucks.
Exactly.
And I want them people to go to be in that lane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't even apply for the job if you're not.
Right. If you already know you're not interested, why even work or apply there? Like, it don't make sense to me, but everybody's different, so
that's
you
why
get it how you get it.
Don't chase the money.
Mm-hmm.
You're chasing a career. Because you chase the money, and you're going to end up miserable.
Still not going to be happy.
There's no foundation of why you just, it's just for the money. Well, you can get there and they can change the money.
They can change the money. And that's why you have to love what you do. And that's what your internship, your apprenticeship, all those times when you're doing it right. You grew up and you wanted to own a Starbucks, a coffee shop, a little restaurant, something like that. When you was on the Fries, you was moving different than my man. Like, this is my minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go grab my bottle on Friday. Like, you moving right. You gonna move different, and you gonna you gonna study the coach and this, that, and the third different, man. I think I saw Magic Johnson speak, and he was talking about he said one thing you gotta do. He said you gotta over deliver. You know what I mean? You gotta over deliver. But he said the whole time while he was on the Lakers, you know, he go to practice, do his thing, ball out, obviously. But he was in the he was like a little gnat, a little fly on the wall with the owners.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to learn business, and so this whole time as his career was getting tight, this, that, and the third, he was able to just translate that. But he was just soaking up game because that was his big thing doing, and like that's why even with LeBron, like I think it's crazy that he done went to 3 different teams, but I'm seeing what he doing with the production and this, that, and the third. It's like, yo, I get to be in LA to where my next level of my career or who I'm gonna be is where it's at, of the entertainment and this and the third. But I get the and Magic got dipped out, but I was like, Magic is probably one of the best mentors for LeBron in business. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I'm saying. Like we all need means. They use sports and we use sports, but like you need means to connect yourself to your passion. You know what I mean? And that's where we was just down at A3C for the music festival in Atlanta, and that's what somebody everybody's telling their stories, and their story starts with like, yeah, even the LeBron commercial, the humble beginnings, but you're putting yourself in a place of humility in connection to where your passion is. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'd rather, be the janitor in the Def Jam joint than, work at something else. And like somebody may look at that crazy, but it's like, yo, I get to make the connections that I'm looking for. I get to soak the game that I'm trying to learn. Right. You know what I mean?
You keep leveling up. Janitor to whatever, A&R or something. Like, if you got that passion,
right? I'll
be the janitor if this is where I want to be. You got the steps. You got to take the steps.
Going back to what I was saying about being an inspiration, because you gotta see it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you gotta see it for the reality of what it potentially can become. Like, you know what I mean? And that, I guess that was my point. Seeing the athletes now, playing professionally. For myself, I want to be an artist that inspires kids to be creative and do things in the community and see like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? He's from here, you know what I mean? And it's not 25, 30 years ago, because again, like some of these people weren't even born yet, so they don't even, and that goes into the style of music that I make, and where hip hop is like a lot of artists, like, it's not even about being or it is, I'm saying it is about being organic, but we know what's trendy with music. So like they still telling the story and the perspectives for people here, but what their music sound like is from Atlanta, this, that, and the third, or wherever, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, like we got a great community here, so like let's create our own sound. You know what I mean? Let's create and like I said, that history of like Jersey hip hop, Trenton hip hop in its own. It's like, yo, there's elements here that like, and again, that's being an athlete, be a student of the game. Like, really be a student of the game.
Money coming too fast. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. You want me to research? They pay me $100,000. I can't do it. It's too fast.
It is.
They getting it too fast. The OGs around them, they getting money, so it ain't the same.
They ain't teaching nobody.
Yeah, like Snoop Dogg just said it. Like it's our fault that it's like this, because we had people teaching us the game, but we ain't teaching nobody the game. Because a lot of these artists feel like they got it. They know it already. I've been grinding for a couple of years. I got one hit song. I made it. I blew up. I know it. But you don't really know it because you're going to be going tomorrow.
You're going to be going quick. But that's, and even that, it's like lining up businesses or whatever. Like, that's you got to take the time to educate yourself on that. You know what I mean? Because, dang, Snoop Dogg been around our whole life.
Yeah,
like, you know,
reinvented himself like 7 times.
Right, and it's like that's long term money. That's you know what I'm saying. You got he stamped where getting that quick money, not educating yourself, not creating longevity, and you happy when because again these, you know what I'm saying, people getting paid when they 20. You know what I mean? So how many artists in the past, like let's say it's 2019, going into 2020, how many artists from 2014 we ain't even talking about no more?
It's a lot.
I'm trying to think of the hottest artists in 2014. Fetty, Post Malone. Yeah.
Like right, it's a small percent that, you know what I mean, and
It's still doing it.
And so like that's like, and
We're doing it at the highest level.
Yeah,
highest level.
They not the superstars they were. They probably still touring and stuff off them hit songs, but it ain't the same. No kids like, oh, I want to see Fetty. No shade to him, but these kids like they like the other artists now.
right, you got that window, and then, but that's you know, developing your skills and not having. I think that's the whole thing about not having viral success. Even when we're talking about these people, is like that's what we focusing on now, is building a really strong core fan base, because that's what's going to travel with you, and like you said, that comes from being organic. That comes from people being connected with what you do, who you stand for.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love branding. I love the idea of branding, because I mean it's a term, but it's just what you represent, it's who you are. You know what I mean? But that's where your artists who have got to the highest level, and even like artists who I say that say they're underground, they could tour forever, and they still putting out music, they still doing numbers, they still getting people to show up to shows, because they have a strong core.
Correct.
Where something that might pop off real quick, it's like, man, we live in a following mentality society, right? So it's like somebody told you to listen to that, but once they tell you that it's not hot no more, then you just, or they tell you something else is hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Move
saying?
right on to the next artist.
Right on to the next artist. But if you build a strong core, I mean, it's like the body, you know what I'm saying? Strong core, strong body. That's where your movement come from. That's funny words.
He dropping the bar. Something like that.
But that's where your movement comes from, your core. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, again, we building, and I know it's like all the metaphors is real. Like when you microwave something, it's hot, it's ready, but it don't really taste good. Like you said, when you marinate it and put your hands into it, you put it in the oven, you put the seasoning on it, it tastes better. It's more fulfilling. It's more more nutritional for you and stuff like that. And that's what it is, man. I think like when you building that core, you want people to come back.
Right.
You want people to come back.
That viral moment. That's just instant.
Right.
They go into the next viral moment. So they not really your fan or your follower. Listen, they just there for that moment. You got to keep, like you said, the core. You know who the real followers are, and they gonna start telling people when they really rock with you.
Correct.
So my bad, I cut you off.
What kept you from keeping your music authentic? Because when I listen to your music, I can tell you from around where we from, even though you've been in LA for a while. What made you not get sucked in? Because it's easy to get sucked in. You hear the music whenever they like, this is trending. It's trash. But like, how do you keep yourself like, bro, I got my own lane. There's no need for me to step into that.
One, I think all my favorite artists, you know what I'm saying? I'll definitely say Jay, Andre 3000, but Outkast as a whole, you know what I'm saying? And Nas, Tupac as well. Is they were like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think like I was a little different as a child. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to. I was just telling somebody this other day. I was like, my confidence came from my ability. You know what I'm saying? So like, I might not have had the flyest shoes all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, we grew up some people had all the shoes.
Every
you
day.
Hey. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Shout out to them.
Shout out to the mom. I know they working hard out here to get this. You know what I mean? I was side note. I was at one of the my brother son played basketball in the area, and I was just like, Dad, yo, like all these kids. Now again, I remember my birthday in January, right? So like, yeah, usually when we was younger, that's when all the basketball season is like had just started or whatever. So like I said, yo, Mom, like yo, go, you know what I'm what I'm saying? I asked my grandma. My
Yeah,
grandma
I
gave me a
asked
shoe.
grandma
You know what I'm saying? I had all my Iverson and my grandma got them joints, and I wear them on the court and in school. But anyway, staying. These people transcended, and like they gave me a voice. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, if it was sports was a way for me to show off. Like this other thing was a way for me to show off. But like when I'm listening to Jay, and like that's my favorite. That's my favorite Jay line. Putting me anywhere on the God's green earth, I triple my worth. You know what I'm saying? And like as a little kid or as a young boy, like I ain't thinking about money in that, but I'm thinking about how like getting better. You know what I mean? So to stay authentic, I want people to connect to who I am, and so if I make a record that's not me, it's like it's not gonna feel right. You know what I mean? It's not gonna feel right, and then like it's not gonna get that emotion or feeling that I want people to do when they hear my music. You know what I mean? Like that's you know what I mean. I think that's most important to me. Is I want this to be like I want you to be driving around. I want you to be running. I want you to be on your grind, whatever it is, to really be like, all right, man, I can make this happen. And so like that's when I'm writing, I'm like, cause you'll get a beat and some producers will send me stuff and then be like yeah, it could go there. It could you know what I'm saying, it could go to a different lane. But it's like that's not me, and that's not what I do this for. You know what I'm saying? Like I want somebody to listen, like what I listen to music for. I listen to it for confidence. I listen to it to, you know what I'm saying? It was like to give me a voice how I wanted to feel. You know, when you listening to music, or whether it be nowadays we got podcasts, motivational videos. When you hear something, it's like it feel like you said it, or it made you stand up a little different. Like it made you, you know what I mean? You walked out your house a little different. And you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, everything got their own lane, right? When you want to go turn up, you probably need to be in that mode. But me staying is that because I know that like, yo, we out here, people are really getting it and grinding. Like, you know what I'm saying? We see it every day. I see people working, and it's like, I want you to listen to my music and be like, yo, I could be the best. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I do. You know what I mean? That's the new single. I'm getting better every day. Like, you know what I mean? And so like, that's what helps me. Like, yo, like, don't switch up, because it's like
it's tempting. I know it.
Right? It's tempting, and don't get me wrong. It's like a lot of sports comparisons. It's low key easy to do that.
Yeah. That's the easy route.
Right. It's low key easy to do that. It's, you know what I mean. It's and like I said, I'm everybody can. When I even like the flows of today, like y'all ask me, I still write. You know what I mean? Because I think that's an art. You know what I mean? That's like somebody who they jump wet. Like that's a, you know what I mean? That's an art. Yeah. Like you know what I mean?
It was like a child phenom,
right? You know, even somebody who got handled, like they really, you gotta really own that. Like you said, like I said, I remember those things. Like I remember the little kids. They on the bench. They can't even. They like say, yo, stop dribbling. The other game going on. Nah, we could. You know what I mean? And then people that can shoot, like they own that, and that's how I stay true. I want to really own myself. That's my whole mission in life. That's my name. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to own who you are. You know what I mean? And really own who you are to create the life that you want to see in front of yourself. Right. You know what I mean? Because that's why I can't wait for y'all to hear this project. Like
I can't wait.
Because it's like you gonna be put at any step of the road you gonna get put in pressure, right? You know what I'm saying? We talk about the Tekashi situation. That was pressure. He wasn't ready for that because that's not who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like so at the end of the day, you gotta stand on your two. And you gotta be ready for everything that come with who you are, and that's what like we saying now. People not ready. They're not ready for that.
They're not comfortable either. That's why the unfortunate situation of these young artists killing themselves with prescription drugs or whatever like that, because I don't think that's really the life they want to live. And then you come to realize their lives, like, but you didn't struggle. You had a family home, and you added certain things to your lifestyle or the music you listening to, you could just talk about it, but a lot of these, I think these young kids feel like they gotta do it too.
And that's what I think a lot of stuff come from access, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the bars, the entertainment was different when these were people's real stories. Now, if you got a little bit of money, you could go get you a home studio, you could go get you a camera, you could go to the mall and get all the gear, the chains, this, that, and everything.
Whole starter kit.
Hip hop started kid. You know what I mean? You don't live that life, and now don't get me wrong. I think I've heard music that like one thing I tell people I've never told. It wouldn't matter if somebody told me that anyway, but just being who I am, nobody ever listened to my music and was like, I think you should do something else. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever said
Nobody's
that.
telling these artists that.
Right, and you've heard people where you should be like, hey, bro, or and that's what I tell people. If I feel that way, I be like, hey, man, you got to keep working. You know what I'm saying? I tell them keep working. You know what I mean? Because I've heard artists who are really successful now, when you hear their early music, it's like
it wasn't ready.
Right, it wasn't ready. You know what I mean? But that's the whole. With everything you're saying is connected, because when you get the hip hop starter kit, that's not who you are authentically. You microwave yourself and you put something out there. You put something out there easy. It's easily digestible. You know what I'm saying? Easy for people to take in, but it's not you. So when the real pressure comes from the life that you talking about, when you talking about, you know what I mean, man, that the mental health thing is crazy. You can't, don't. That's one of my things in life. Don't play with it. Like, don't be on the internet showing guns and money and that, and don't expect somebody to come rob you.
Right.
Somebody gonna apply the pressure on you, and again, and not even in a negative sense. Whatever you're doing, somebody's gonna apply the pressure. Like, that's who you really are. Like, you know what I mean? And like that's like, you know, talking about that. That's why I studied the game, because I talk about that, right? So I don't want to be on, you know, an interview or something like that. Somebody asked me a question about some hip hop history, and I'm like, I don't know. Right? You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, because that's. We you know, that's the thing. Like, whatever you own, you know, really keep developing that. And again, you know what I'm saying, if you're gonna put yourself in a certain lane, be prepared. You know what I mean, to do that, because and you talking about your fans, your people that were saying, you got people that's really going through real things, and you talking about your, you know, your depression and this and third, or what you're using to cope with that, and if you don't really understand it. You got people. That's what we have with these platforms. You have influence. Like,
I don't think they.
you got real influence where somebody, you know what I mean, can listen to what you're saying, and they're going to apply
it literal, like,
and apply it to their life. You can't play with that, man. Like, that's man. This year was crazy. I lost somebody to substance abuse, and you know what I mean, and it's like, you don't even know what, like, that's what I'm saying, you don't know what people really going through.
Correct.
And it's crazy, because like I said, like, that's my thing. Like, don't play with it, man. Don't and like I said, I think very holistic. We talking about one lane, but I think in general, like, it's somebody, they doing a podcast, they not organized, you know what I mean, you working, you working, it's like, you gotta put your time and energy into this. And somebody, again, they might have a little bit of money, a little bit of change, they go get the little setup, this, that, third, but it's like, they don't take it serious.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Got all the equipment, or taking the sports, got all the gear, the arm sleeves, headbands.
But they don't work out. Right. They ain't really in the gym putting in the time.
It just look good, but
it's like, man, like that. Yeah, that was my 2018 way. Like, don't play with it, because it's somebody, like you said, you will get exposed, and it's somebody really that love it, and they not even getting the opportunity because of so many people playing with it.
Yeah.
They not even getting no light on them to shine, because I got all these, and that's, I mean, again, like, you know, people looking for the quick dollar, people looking for you know, just to thrive off of something because they see the what's the name. Like, you know, the people look at hip hop. Yeah, it's a quick lick. Like, I can make a song. I got all the homies, and that's what I do love about the young energy, because when you young, as we know, when we talk about sports, like your network is huge. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was in high school, I know people at 10 different high schools, and on top of you know, wherever I travel, my cousins at, you know what I'm saying? And then you got people where they parents can spend their bread or whatever. And so that's why these people are able to they blow up quickly, and stuff like that. But yeah, man, this is real life. You got people, and that's why that's the music and the stuff, the entertainment that I listen to, these are real stories. Like, this is somebody real pain, this is somebody real love, this is somebody real passion, this is somebody real energy, and it's coming through the music. And that's why, like, you know, we talk about a song. A lot of people, they really looking for a vibe. You know what I mean? They're looking for a vibe. But like, I know me, I'm really listening to what people are saying. And that's why when I think about my favorite artists in these settings, like, I think about their interviews. That's when you can really feel somebody.
You
with
really
you,
see
you know,
if they just alright.
That's what be crazy to me when I be watching the young boys interviews, and they be so dry.
And then they don't know definitions of words. The one interviewer actually, like, you put your music in chronological order. He's like, what? Why are you using that big word? You trying to sound like T.I.? I'm like, all he said was...
Oh, that was recent.
Yeah, like, I'm like...
Yeah, that's great.
Y'all coming to the interviews, they're not taking it serious, because at the end of the day, they 20 years old getting money.
You
come to the interview under the influence. You're not promoting your music. You done let the whole interview shift to somebody else. I be watching a lot of interviews with young cats. I don't even know they do music.
You forgot why they was happening.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm like,
that
you don't know what they talking about. They done shifted the whole interview
thing, and like, that's what I'm saying.
You're
You playing with it.
You just made a hit song, or you in a video.
That's what I'm saying. How many people? That's what I be trying to tell myself and what's name. How many people want your position? Like, this is the best relationship advice I ever got, right? I get to do it. It's not I got to do it, it's I get to do it. It's a privilege, right? You know what I'm saying, right? You a young artist, you showing up to the interview, you acting like you don't care. Like, yo, you get to do that. You know what I'm saying? You that's a privilege for you to this is your life, this is your work. You get to show up and talk to people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to you don't gotta wake up at 5 a.m. and do whatever. You don't gotta stay up overnight and do whatever. This is a privilege. And that's what I'm saying. You can't play with it. Like, yo, this is somebody wants your spot right now.
All the time.
They will off you right now for your spot, and you
just did like
just
a body.
You know.
I feel like where hip hop is going now is, I think a lot of these young kids are now getting kind of tired of where it's going at. The same, all the artists sound the same. They're talking about the same thing. Now a lot of their favorite artists are losing their lives to the stuff they're talking about in the music. So I feel at some point these artists are going to get held accountable. Because at the end of the day, you have to be held accountable for the things you say in your songs. And then a lot of these artists don't even do none of this stuff.
And that's what you asked me for. Staying true and what's the name? Because the real always gonna surface to the top. If you really look at who the biggest artists are today, they got real content. Like what they really talking about. Like your biggest that's been doing it. What's the name? Now they starting to put their teams on and this, that, and third. They got real stuff going on. And I mean, they content, their music is about their real lives, and it's like I said, it's inspiring. Where the stuff it'll, you know what I'm saying, it'll make a splash, but then it's gonna sink, man. That's what keep me going. Like, you know what I mean? Stay true, and let your what's name. Don't play with it. Keep getting better at your craft. Keep learning. Keep you know what I mean, experimenting in your lane. I seen another interview just recently. BJ Armstrong was talking about Jordan, and he was like, Jordan was better in practice. They was like, I wish I could have taped it, right? He was like, Jordan was better in practice than he was in the game, because that's when he got to be an artist. He got to experiment. I was like, that probably was crazy to see, but
yeah, when it's better in practice. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And he's like, that's where he got to experiment. That's where he got to test out the moves and he couldn't be rigid. Before we got on, we was talking about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons can shoot.
Yeah.
But in the game, he might not want, you know what I mean? He's nervous, you know, different things. He might not want to test it out. Or he has the ability to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The capabilities to do it.
This NBA season is kind of how the rap game is. Like the older teams, like the Spurs and all that. You don't really talk about them as much as now you're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. Like when the last time I really thought that we would be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks past the Ray Allen times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're known. It's not just we're talking about
one. But see, that's what I love. He just said that in a quote. I was not the number one pick. I'm not supposed to be here. You look at my man Giannis physically. That like if I wanted to, like you said, hip hop, I want to be the Giannis of the rap game. Like he wasn't supposed to be here. Like
they showed him when he was 20. Old head was like, "How old are you?" I'm 20. And to see the growth that he is now is just remarkable.
They said bro put on like 75 pounds of muscle, which is crazy physically. But like even I think I seen one of his little workout videos. Like he that's what I love. He earned that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's not microwave. That's the prime example of it can't happen microwave. It can't. For you to be successful.
And you got it. And what he do? I'm soaking up game from Kobe. I became a gym rat. I became, you know what I mean? And so that's what you have to that love, it gotta be different. I remember when I was in high school, like I said, somebody on Instagram, like one of my followers, fans, or whatever, they wanted to link up. They said something to me. They was like, they basically asked me like, is that how you really are? And I was like, nah, like I'm the same person that you see. This motivation and this energy that I get, like you could be my mother, you could be family, you could be anybody. Like I realized like my purpose in life is really I want to any interaction I have with somebody, I want to help people reach their fullest potential. And so like seeing Giannis, like that's fullest potential. Look, you got both of your brothers in the league.
Yeah.
You know
off
what I mean?
The strength of you.
off the strength of you. When you listen to the story, I'm sending shoes back. I'm sending money back. I'm sending money back that I think one story was crazy. He had to get somebody to take him to a game his rookie year because he had to send bread back to his mom, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm really from a place where I don't want to say, you can use the word struggle, but I'm from a place where I really am the one. I'm putting the thing on my back to really get there, and I'm not supposed to be here. I don't have no AAU. I don't have the access that some people had, and I really put the effort on. And so, like, like everything you asked me, that's where my mindset come from. I ain't never had nobody in the industry. I have never, cause being LA and show you that, yo, you really do research on your favorite artists. They pops worked for this company, this record label. They had somebody, you know what I mean? Yo, myself, Renaissance as a whole, we had no connection. We was like, yo, this is what we gonna do. We gonna make a plan. We gonna do it independently. We gonna study the greats. And we, and for me, like I said, I did like, Nipsey definitely was one of my favorite artists. And like when I was saying before, like people's interviews, like, but it's like, yo, dude really laid out a blueprint and fought for his, you know what I'm saying, for what he was creating. And then, but again, that don't stop, Jay-Z, this billionaire who we see now, same thing with Giannis. You see that's it, man. We can talk about these. We can have 17 podcasts. People love, that's, you know what I mean? People love the finished product. That's all we see. That's all we see on social media. You see people praising the finished product. You know what I mean? But when they saw that person building, they would have walked right past them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might have, Johhny was taught basketball a little different, but they see the little skinny dude, they walk right past him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think his 2K rating was like 50 something when he came in the league.
Right.
You're not even thinking about that. But now, how many kids buying that jersey?
The
sneakers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what we. My bad.
Go
That's
ahead.
what we say all the time about this podcast. Maybe we don't have a lot of listeners or followers, whatever the case may be, but when eventually we are on, then you get all the flock coming in and jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak. So it's just, you gotta live in your vision. You gotta keep working, putting the work in, and it'll come to fruition, whatever you believe you can do. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't expect nobody else to believe in you. And I like to say that. I put quotes all the time on the page, and this, sometimes I get them from other people, sometimes it's just click in my mind, and sometimes I go back to Facebook 2013. I used to write quotes, I'm like, what the hell was I going through? But yeah, you just gotta believe in yourself, and then once you believe in yourself, the easy part is other people gonna believe in you, because they can see if you're not really passionate, you don't love what you do, you just like it. So just believing in yourself. I'm sure Johhny, he believed in himself, he believed in his brothers. And
that picture was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking about his family, like how
Right.
proud of you, how proud of
His mom,
his
yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Like 3 of my children are in the NBA.
Millionaires.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, we think about the dollar. You don't always gotta think about dollars, but you think about where they came from.
Right.
Yeah,
You know
like it was.
They were sharing sneakers back in the day, like
Exactly. Well,
What?
they don't have trainers.
Giannis had
Right.
Like a lot of these kids got trainers.
Trainers.
You know, it's very easy.
very
for, like,
privileged.
Yeah, very privileged. Like I used to go to Moody Park with my dad and dribble out there. These kids out there with trainers. I'm like, you got a trainer? I just had my pop. Like, and my pop was enough about the game.
Right.
Enough about the game. Like I'm like, wow, and it's not the same hunger. Like I be watching these girls play and a lot of these kids play around here. I'm like,
They just want the
y'all
highlight
cool?
tape.
Y'all
Right.
cool?
They
I never thought when I worked out for basketball to ever put it online. Like I just thought I was just getting better for myself. Like,
And that's the crazy thing to me, right? Is that if you do love something in the time of day that we got, you got like let's you know what I'm saying, your pops, you know, a little bit about the game. I told you about my pops couldn't dribble.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a kid now, you could go on YouTube and you got a whole dribbling coach.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got access to all that. You got, you know what I mean, as in entertainment, you got access to learn how to make beats.
Mm-hmm.
You got access to people even like you know, how to construct songs. That's a great story about 50 Cent. Is like Jam Master Jay taught 50 how to write a song. So like when you think about 50 hits, it's like because he knew what the structure was to create a hit. You know what I'm saying? And like, but now you got access. There's no reason why you don't have the ability to become, you know, exceptional in your field. Like I said, I've been reading a lot. That's the one thing I think is crazy, right? You know, we talk about these excellent people. It's more people. This quote blew my mind. It's more people fighting for a lower spot than the 1% spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? You think about a corporate job, for example.
Yeah, I take the job that's paying
How many more people applying for minimum wage than somebody who's trying to be a boss?
Yeah.
Right.
You got less competition to be great. You got less competition to be great. Why
I like
not?
that. I'm gonna use that on the page.
But see, and then what you were saying though too, like you know, staying humble and say, what's that? I'll see people in my network. You know what I'm saying? They'll post the quotes from the Player Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
People are watching what you're doing and it's growing, and that's, you know what I'm saying, as an artist. When I see somebody connect with me, I'm like, I'll be so humble, you know, because it's like people watching, people watching it. They, you know, they might not talk about it, but they're watching it, and then again, it's just growing and building, and like, you know, like I said, you got, and that's where internally we got to just like keep going. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this something bigger than myself because somebody out here that's what I think, somebody out here need this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody out here need this.
I say all the time, as long as we can impact one person, we did our job.
Correct.
It'd be like that. We did a show out at the Nova was like the joint that's like right across from the Staples Center.
Okay.
And it's like when we talk about performance stuff, I always like there's different ways of like doing performances and how you do it. You see some people, they be in the middle stage and do the eyes closed. Some people jumping around the whole time, this and the third. But what I do like to do is like I'll find an area that's like connected with me. And it's like you got a big crowd, you know what I mean? And it was like this one little square, like it was this one little square. They was rocking with me a little bit extra, and it like, you know, again, like especially where I am in my career, for the majority of the time, when people get connected, it's their first time hearing it or whatever, and but that motivated me because I was like, okay, they feel it, they listen to it, they connected, so I was like, I gotta rock with that section, you know what I'm saying, and that's you know, and then every show that section gonna grow, and then that those people they're gonna remember me, you know what I mean,
right.
And that it's powerful, man. I really feel like going for your dreams is like the hardest thing that you ever gonna do. You know what I mean? It's so many easy routes. There's so many ways to get comfortable, get stagnant, and be okay. Like, you know what I mean? But like I said, even I really love what I'm seeing from like our generation locally too. Yeah. It's like we getting several different examples of people really like pushing it to the limit. I see, man, our generation, like the things that we talking about, we gonna buy property, we gonna gentrify our own hood. Like it's not gonna be people coming in. That's one thing I tell people now, stack your bread.
I tell them all the time.
Because Trenton is an area that's can really develop and be something much bigger than what we grew up in.
Probably what it was with our parents. It was a beautiful area. That's what my mom and my grandma used to tell me all the time. Movie theaters, all type of stuff.
And people making money, and it's like it got so much potential because of where it is. So now, you know, like I said, me and my pop star, I got plans, and that's, you know, going back to Nipsey, I got to see some of that stuff firsthand. It's like, man, I see the potential of, you know, and it's like that's the thing. I do be getting excited. I can't tell everybody your plans all the time, but
right.
I see the potential of what the city really can be, man. And it's like it's gonna be it's gonna be a hotbed for talent, for all these things. But you know, we gotta keep building and connecting so that, you know, some of the negative things can or even like building yourself that you can be in control of some things. You can have communication with certain people to make sure that just your spot does not ever get, you know, affected, man. And with the day of Nipsey's funeral, I went to the marathon store, and like feel that energy, you know what I mean? Definitely rest his soul, but it's like that's my whole thing. And I got a song on this new project kind of talking about that. If you could bury me, and I've like you said, I've impacted that many people, I've started to see it change, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people like, what would you die for? But what are you living for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you living to see? And that's where I'm saying, like, I'm seeing these little businesses pop up, and I'm seeing what's going on in Newark, in Jersey City, and they ain't hit us yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They ain't hit us OD yet with the, you know what I'm saying, with the gentrification. So it's coming. We gotta get on it now. Correct. You know what I'm saying? So that we can be in control of the narratives. Come on, man. When they start bringing in the fly condos and this, that, and the third, and you know what I mean, like I said, I've seen it in other places. So it's like yo, we, property's a little bit cheaper here right now. You know what I'm saying, when compared to other places. Like I said, I ain't gonna give out my game plan. But you know what I mean. But yeah, man, and just being observant. But you know, I think, like I said, I see our generation. We getting hip to some things, and again, because we got access. Man, I'm up listening to you know. That's why I love that you talk about them on the podcast. Like, yo, you could get bread out here. Yeah. You know what I mean, and you could learn how to flip your money. You could learn how to do what rich people doing with with your taxes and all that. But you gotta really invest your time.
It takes some sacrifice.
Whatever it takes, like for real. I mean, like, and that's
New merch.
I'm gonna send y'all some shirts out too, man. And like I said, man, I love what y'all doing, man. I think it's giving people a platform is powerful, and then just like really we can, you know what I'm saying, we can control our narrative. You know,
right.
We don't have to let, you know, the news paint the picture of the area. Like, we can really control our, you know, our narrative, and it's dope. It's dope.
So before we let you go, I know you got the project coming out on your birthday next month.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got going on? Performances.
So yeah, we working on some different things as far as the tour. I got a couple shows coming out on the West Coast. Definitely gonna be coming back to the city, back to the area, back to Jersey to do some more shows. But yeah, man, right now we focused, ready to get Follow, the EP, the follow up to Dream. It's coming out January 10th. You can get that on all the streaming sites. You know what I mean? Connect with me on social media at JQuestTheRebel, and you know we'll have the pre-saves ready soon. We got the single Whatever It Takes is out now, doing amazing on Spotify. And yeah, man, we growing, man. We connected with artists. You know what I mean, and we're building. I got a lot of new content coming. Like I said, I'm really on my plant-based wave, so we're actually starting a new YouTube series called Fried Foods, which we just started filming the first episode here because I had to come back to Trenton to do it. We went down to Health is Wealth, a little plant-based spot downtown. So I'm gonna go to different vegan plant-based spots in different cities. You know what I'm saying, and really you know, kind of.
So now you're a rapper and a food critic.
Not a critic. I want to say I want to say a critic.
You know, switched it up.
Yeah.
Rap and you
I want to say a critic. I just want to allow even now, right? I want to allow people to know in different cities where the vegan and plant-based spots are.
A lot of people are vegan.
You know what I'm saying?
Expand in your brand.
Yeah, because that's what I do. My thought process was like, when you go on YouTube, what I do. We went down to Atlanta. I go on YouTube, go on Google, where the spots, right? And typically, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna say exactly. Typically, it's somebody who don't look like me who go to these spots. So can I really trust their judgment of if the food is fire or not? You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
right. So again,
enough seasoning.
I was thinking, like,
you know what I mean? For real. So
I
I'm
see
like,
properly.
why not? You know what I'm saying? When you know somebody come to Trenton, all right, y'all, I'm gonna check out Health as well. I'm gonna check out. When I go to Atlanta, I'm gonna go to Slutty Vegan. When I go to LA, I'm gonna go mess with Compton Vegan because he got the soul food plates and this and the third. You know what I mean? And because again, like I know that this is eating plant based is still real new in our community, and just overall just eating better in general. Yeah. So I'm gonna do it. Is really episodes are really, like I said, wherever you go, you get it firsthand from me. I'm gonna keep it real. If the restaurants don't make it, it's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And so we got that coming. More videos, more man, a lot more content, man. We're gonna do like I said, I got a lot coming, man.
More vlogs and stuff.
More
vlog. That was dope. You did like a voiceover for yourself.
Yeah. So we working on one right now for me coming home and everything like that, and to come before the EP drops. And yeah, man, like I said, I just want to really spread this motivation, spread the energy to really get people, man, really out here on their grind and knowing that whatever they doing is possible. Learn that you got to make the sacrifices, you got to put the time, and you got to really you got to see it through. Yeah, you got to see it through. It's like, you know what I mean, follow through. You know what I mean? You gotta really you gotta plant your seed, but you gotta water it. You gotta, you know what I mean, and watch that thing grow. So this is the time for me to really show people that we got the LLC for the label 2 years ago, so we 2 years deep in that, and we really expanded the brand. And y'all gonna see more artists. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cheek the Prophet. That's my homie, man. He's actually featured on the project a couple times. We still here. We still got grassroots things. Like I said, we working on some stuff as far as like a studio space here, where we want to allow a lot of artists because as far as like Trenton artists, we got a lot of home studios, and then we got a lot of people going across the bridge to record. Where there's an engineer on my team, shout out to Surf, who's here doing his thing, and we're trying to really connect and build, man. And obviously, I got a lot of things, individual goals, but I want to see the city, the area, to become a hotbed and start to generate our own sound. Like the Renaissance is we titled that, me, my big brother said, who's my manager, co-CEO of the label. We titled it that because that's what we feel like we want to do: create a renaissance, create a era in time where, again, it's more than music. You know what I mean? And that's where we have the ability to do. We could teach people about food. Yeah. We could see people getting into real estate and all that, and being in ownership. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the platform is, and that's where we're taking it. So the Renaissance is here, and the wave is started, man. It's already here. The tide is going up.
So once again, we want to thank you for joining us, taking some time out your day. I hope it was worth it. We appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe all over Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music. Once again, Quest, we appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Peace.